This video will focus on basics of percents and solving problems involving percents. We're going to start off with changing decimals to percents and percents to decimals. When you change a decimal to a percent, you multiply by 100 or move the decimal 2 places to the right. So looking at 1a, if I multiply 0.25 times 100, I just move that decimal 2 places to the right and it ends up at the end, so we get 25. The decimal is here, but I don't need to write that decimal, that's just 25. So I'm going to take off the decimal because I don't need to write it, and I put a percent sign on it, so 0.25 is the same as 25%. In the next one, multiplying by 100 or moving the decimal 2 places to the right, it ends up after the 5, so that's 5%. Pause the video and try the next 3 on your own. Hopefully you had a chance to try that. In this next one, when I move the decimal 2 places to the right, well, I only have 1 place to go, so I have to add a 0. And then I can move it again, and it ends up right there. So we end up with 50%. In the next one, 2 places to the right, it ends up between the 0 and the 5, right there. So we get 0.5%, which is half of a percent, less than 1%. And in the next one, move it once, add a 0, move it again, it ends up being 150%. When we change percents to decimals, we divide by 100 or move the decimal 2 places to the left. So in 38%, the decimal is currently right here. When we divide by 100, the decimal goes 2 places to the left and ends up in front of that 3. So we get 0.38, or we could say 0.38. In the next one, I take that decimal from the end of the number 2 places to the left again, and we get 0.80. And I don't need to keep that 0 on the end of the number. I could just put 0.8. In part C, I only have 1 place to move the decimal, so just like above, I add a 0 so I can move it twice, and we get 0.08 or 0.08. You can put a 0 in front of the decimal, to the left of the decimal if you want. It's kind of optional. Okay, the next one, 2 places to the left, I move it once, add a 0 to move it twice, and we get 0.025. And the last one, it's after the 0, I go 2 places to the left and I get 2.00, but I don't need to keep those 2 zeros to the right of the decimal, so it would just be 2. Now we're going to start some problem solving with percents. In percent problems, there are 3 components: the part, the whole, and the percent. So when you're solving any percent problem, you first want to identify which one you're finding. In part 3, it says find the blank. So what are we finding in this problem? 15 is what percent of 130 rounded to the nearest percent. So it seems that we are finding the percent. And when you find a percent, you're going to take the part over the whole. And in this case, 15 is what percent of 130? 15 is going to be the part, which is often near the word is, and 130 is going to be the whole, which is sometimes near of. So part over whole is going to be 15 out of 130. So we're basically making a fraction. And you can change that to a decimal using your calculator. We get 0.11538, and it keeps going. So that's the decimal form of our answer, but just like we learned above, we want to now change that decimal to a percent. So I'm going to move the or the decimal 2 places to the right, or multiply by 100, and it ends up right there. Now it says rounded to the nearest percent. So I'm getting 11.538 ... percent, but I want to round to the nearest percent, which is rounding to the nearest whole number. So that 1 is in the ones place. So I'm going to look at the 5 to decide what to do with the 1, and the 5, since it's 5 or above, tells me to bump that 1 up to a 2. So we get about 12% for our answer. And another way to do this is using a percent proportion, which is this setup right here, where you do part over whole equals percent over 100. I would start with 15 over 130, just like in the other method, and then I do equals, since the percent is on top, I put x, because that's what I'm finding, over 100. And then a quick trick to solve this is to multiply the diagonal numbers and divide by the other number. So I'm going to do 15 times 100 divided by 130, and that gives me about 11.538, and then I still need to round to the nearest percent, so again, about 12%. In this next example, it says, what is 8% of 40? 8 is the percent. 40 is the whole, and we're finding the part. My preferred method is method 1 up above, where we take the percent in decimal form times the whole, and that equals the part. But remember that this percent is a decimal. So the first thing we do is change the percent to a decimal. So I'm going to change 8% to a decimal by moving that decimal 2 places to the left. We have to add a 0, and we get 0.08. Then I take that percent in decimal form, I multiply it by the whole, which is 40, and that will give me the part, which is 3.2. Another way to do it is using the percent proportion. Part over whole equals percent over 100. In this problem, since we are missing the part, I'm going to put an X in the part spot. The whole is 40. The percent is 8, and the percent always goes over 100. Now I'm going to multiply the diagonal numbers and divide by the other number, and I get X equals 40 times 8 divided by 100, which will also give me 3.2. So 3.2 is 8% of 40. And here's one more example. 40 is 25% of what number? This time, 40 is the part. 25% is the percent. Percent's easy to identify because it has a percent symbol. And then of what number, we're finding the whole. So what is the whole? Now we can use, for method 1, the same method we used in method 1 for number 4, where the part equals the percent in decimal form times the whole. But we're missing the whole, so I'm going to call the whole X. So I'm going to do the percent in decimal form times the whole, which is going to be X, will equal the part. So this time 25%, if I move the decimal 2 places to the left, I get 0.25. So 0.25 is the percent. The whole I don't know, so I'm going to call it X equals the part, which is 40. And now I just have to solve this equation by dividing both sides by 0.25. And we get X equals 160. So 40 is 25% of 160. And for method 2, using the proportion, part over whole equals percent over 100. This time, I don't know the whole, so I put an x in the bottom. The part is 40. The percent is 25 over 100. And then I multiply my diagonal numbers, divide by that other number that's opposite the x, and we get x equals 40 times 100 divided by 25, and that is also 160. Either method is acceptable, and you can do it whichever way you like, although the ones on the left are a little more high school level, but if you feel more comfortable with the method on the right, that's fine. It's your choice. Here are a few more examples. A bike originally cost $650 and it's on sale for 20% off. What is the sale price of the bike? So we need to start by finding 20% of 350. One way to do that, using method 1 from our previous slide, is to change the percent to a decimal and multiply to find the part. So 20% changed to a decimal is going to be 0.20 or just 0.2. And I multiply that by 350, which gives me 70. So $70 would be 20% of 350. Now, since this is a discount, I'm going to lower the price by $70. So I take that original price, subtract $70, and we get $280. Now, you also could have used the proportion method to find 20% of 350. And another way you could do this problem that's a little more advanced is to think about what 20% off means and what percent would be left. If you remove 20% of the price, you're left with the other 80%. So we could just find 80% of 350, which would be 0.8 times 350, and that gets us straight to $280, which would be the price of the bike, the sale price. Now, a mental math way to do this, because often when we're in a store and we want to find a discount, we don't have a calculator with us, although you might on your phone. But if you wanted to challenge yourself to do it with mental math, to find 20% of a number, you could first find 10% and then double it. And to find 10% of 350, you just move the decimal one place to the left. So 10% of 350 is like dividing by 10, and the decimal just moves one place over. So 10% of 350 is $35. And if I double that, 20% of 350 would be $70, which was 35 times 2. And then, same step as before, 350 minus 70 is 280. All right, next problem. A cell phone costs $825 before tax. What is the price of the cell phone with 11% sales tax added? So this time we need 11% of 825. So I'm going to change the percent to a decimal by moving the decimal 2 places to the left, and we get 0.11. I'm going to multiply that by 825, and we get $90.75. Now, tax is extra money you have to pay, so it's going to make the price go up. So we're going to add that to the $825, the original price, add on $90.75, and we get a final price of $915.75 with tax added. Another way you could have done that, if you add 11% to 100%, you get 111%. So the final price of this cell phone is going to be 111% of the original price. So we could just find 111% of 825. Moving that decimal 2 places to the left, we get 1.11 times 825, which gets us straight to 915.75. And now the last part of this video is finding percent increase and percent decrease. To find percent increase and percent decrease, you're going to use subtraction to find the amount of increase or the amount of decrease. So how much did the amount go up or how much did it go down, and we would subtract. And then you're always going to divide that by the original amount, and then you're going to change it. You'll get a decimal, which you'll change to a percent. So let's take a look at an example. The soccer team had 15 players last year. This year they have 18 players. Find the percent increase in players. So first I'm going to subtract to find the amount of, well, since it went up, amount of increase. So I just take the bigger number minus the smaller number, and it went up 3 players. Then I take that amount of increase over the original amount. And the original amount is what it started at in the previous year before it increased. So what it started before, in some problems before the increase, in other problems it'll be before the decrease. But in this case, it's a percent increase problem, so my lower number, 15, was the original amount. So I do the amount of increase over the original amount. That's like my part over whole, and it will give me a decimal that is 0.2. And then I have to change that to a percent. So I'm going to multiply that by 100, or move the decimal 2 places to the right, and we get 20%. You could also use the percent proportion for this. If we do 3 over 15 equals x over 100, that will get you 20% for your answer. The last problem, a pair of jeans originally cost $120. If the sale price was $102, by what percent did the price decrease? So this is a percent decrease problem. The price went down. So first we find the amount of decrease. And we do that by subtracting just the bigger number minus the smaller number, and we get $18 is how much the price went down. And then always identify the original amount. In this case, since the jeans started at 120 and then went down to 102, the original amount is 120, the higher number this time. So 120 was the original amount. So I take that amount of decrease over the original amount, and I get 0.15, which we changed to that's a decimal. We change it to a percent by multiplying by 100 or moving the decimal 2 places to the right, and that gives us 15%. And again, you could use the proportion for that if you wanted. It would be 18 over 120 equals x over 100, and you would get that same answer, a 15% decrease.